everyone. We interns from Nutan College of Physiotherapy, myself Vijal Mewada and my colleagues Deepika Parmar and Mitesh Parmar are here to say a few words on mental retardation. So now I would like to request Deepika to start with the introduction of mental retardation.
Hello, myself Deepika Parmar. I am here to share a few words about mental retardation. First, what is mental retardation? Mental retardation, also known as intellectual disability and learning disability, it is generalized neurodevelopmental disorder. It is characterized by below average intelligence, mental ability and lack of skills necessary for day-to-day living. People with intellectual disability can learn new skills, but they learn more slowly. Epidemiology. Intellectual disability affects about 2 to 3% of normal population, more common in males, and it starts before age 18. 75 to 90% of affected people have mild intellectual disability. Then signs and symptoms. There are different signs of intellectual disability. Symptoms may not noticeable until child reaches school age. Signs are depends on severity of the disability. Then signs and symptoms: difficulty with learning, thinking, difficulty with understanding, hyperactivity, impulsivity, restlessness, problem with decision, difficulty with problem solving, difficulty with interacting with others, rolling over, sitting up and walking late, difficulty with remembering things, difficulty with logical thinking, memory problem, language delay, motor skills like cutting, coloring, drawing problem, poor concentration, crying are also common. Then classification. Person average IQ level is 100. A person is considered intellectual disability if he or she is IQ less than 75 to 18. There are 4 types of mental retardation: mild, moderate, severe and profound. First, mild mental retardation. This is the commonest type of mental retardation. 75 to 90% of affected people have mild intellectual disability. IQ range is 15 to 70. The patient may have problem with reading and writing. Then moderate mental retardation. 10% of person have moderate intellectual disability. IQ range is 35 to 50. Poor social awareness, slow in understanding and using language, have difficulty with communication, unable to live alone. Then severe mental retardation. IQ range is 20 to 35. Poor motor developmental problem occur, absent or markedly delayed speech. Then profound mental retardation. 1 to 2% of people have profound intellectual disability. IQ range less than 20. Physical disorder, delayed developmental milestone, need nursing care, inability to understand. Child with profound intellectual disability may have other health problem as well, like seizure, mood disorder like autism and anxiety. Poor skills impairment, vision problem and hearing problem are common. Causes of mental retardation. Genetic condition like Down syndrome, problem during pregnancy like alcohol and drug use, malnutrition and infection, problem during childbirth. If baby is deprived of oxygen during childbirth, born extremely premature, illness or injury like infections, meningitis, whooping cough and severe hand injury. So I would like to invite Vijal Mewada to explain it further. Thank you.
Hello, myself Vijal Mewada. Now I would like to continue with the assessment of mental retardation. Assessment of a mentally retarded child should not be limited to intellectual functioning alone. It should give an idea of the individual's strength and weakness globally. Mental retardation encompasses 3 components mainly: organic, pathology, psychological impairment and social handicap. The assessment completely depends on how much the child and the patient cooperates or does not. If the child cooperates, or else we can ask the parent or the guardians for the assessment and the details we require. The assessment of a mentally retarded child includes the complete pediatric assessment, which starts like this. Demographic data, in that we include the date of examination, date of incidence and all the details of the child: name, age, gender, weight, height, BMI, address, language, his or her hand dominancy, OPD number, general condition. After that, details of the mother, name of mother, age of mother, occupation of mother. then the diagnosis. After that we come to the history part. History includes all the histories: prenatal, perinatal and postnatal history of mother, history of present illness, medical history, developmental history and family history to rule out the genetic causes and the factors. Then the chief complaint according to the mother. Then comes the observation. On observation, we have to observe body build, posture, postural deviation, postural deformity, postural control, swelling, wasting, scar, trophical changes, external aids, gait, breathing pattern, squint eyes, drooling of saliva, involuntary movements. On palpation, we have to check the temperature, all the vital signs, spasm, swelling, scar, tenderness. Then comes the examination part. On examination, we have to check the pain. Pain can be checked by two VAS scales and NPRS scale. Then the tone, that is spasticity. Then comes the range of motion, manual muscle testing. And manual muscle testing we will grade according to the pediatric scale. Then the tightness, milestone age and reflexes age. Reflexes age assessment will be done by cardinal reflexes, primitive reflexes, spinal reflexes, brainstem reflexes, midbrain reflexes, cortical reflexes. After checking all the reflexes, we will come to a conclusion that the child's reflex age is this much. Then comes the milestone age assessment. In that we have to score the child according to the milestones, and it includes development of grasp, development of dressing, development of communication. And according to this scales, we have to grade the age, milestone age of the child. Then there are 3 scales to test the mental retardation. First IQ test, then Wetzler Intelligence Scale, Stanford-Binet Scale and Binet-Simon Scale of Intelligence. Then in investigation part, we have to check X-rays, MRIs, CT scan, blood reports and all the pathology reports, then complete birth reports and history of the child. Then comes the provisional diagnosis and the confirmed diagnosis. After this, we have to jump to the management part of the child. So that is why this is up to the assessment. And now I would request Mitesh Parmar to carry forward with the management of the child. Thank you.
Mitesh Parmar. I am going to speak about the management part of the mental retardation. Firstly, management of the mental retardation designed not to cure the disorder. Rather, therapy goals include reducing the safety risk. Mainly, medication are required to treat the comorbidities like aggression, mood disorder, self-injuries, behavior problems, and convulsion, which occur in 40 to 70 of cases. The main goal of treatment is child to full potential in terms of education. A treatment may include the behavior therapy, occupational therapy, counseling, and medication in some cases. Main base of treatment is the assessment part. We are going to the social, educational and psychiatric needs. Primary prevention. Education to increase the general public knowledge and awareness of mental retardation. Secondary and tertiary prevention should be treated or shorten the course of illness to minimize the sequelae or consequent disability. Hereditary, metabolic and endocrine disorder. Psychodynamic therapies, family education, social intervention and pharmacology. Some studies have focused on the use of medication for the following behavior and symptoms that are frequent among the persons who are mentally retarded. Common comorbid psychiatric disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, aggression and self-injurious behavior. For tardive dyskinesia tablet, risperidone and the clozapine symptoms may include depressive disorder, explosive rash behavior, adrenergic receptor antagonist and antipsychotic medication. We are going to nursing management. Determine the child's strength and ability and develop the plan to care, maintain and enhance capabilities. Monitor the child's developmental levels. Initiate the supportive interventions such as speech, language, occupational skill as need. Teach him about the natural and normal feelings, emotion. Provide for safety needs. Prevent self-injury. Be prepared to intervene if self-injury occurs. Monitor the child for physical and emotional distress. Work to increase his compliance with conventional social norms and behaviors. Maintain a consistent and supervised environment. Set supportive limits on activities. Impaired verbal communication related to delayed development of milestone. Physiotherapy is often also needed. Anticonvulsant treatment is prescribed for seizures. Daycare centers and school integrated school are useful for the patient. We are going to skill training. Divide each training activity into the small step and demonstrate. Provide repeated training in each activity. Provide regular systemic training. Start training with already known skill to child, then proceed to new skill. Reward the effort when if the child attains near success. Reduce the reward gradually as they master the skill and take up another skill. Assess the child periodically. We are going to vocational training. Firstly, work preparation, selective placement and a post placement. Help for families. Adequate explanation of regarding the prognosis. Involving parents in planning and provisions of care. Day to earning care to relieve the encourage caregivers. Parent counseling is the most important part in the mental retardation. Stage 1. Imparting information regarding condition of the child. Avoid misleading. Avoid building false hopes. Stage 2. Helping the parents in developing right attitudes toward their child. Prevent overprotection, rejection. Handle guilty feelings in parents. Stage 3. Creative awareness in parents regarding their role of caregivers, behavior and medication techniques. Therapy may include the physical therapy, occupational therapy, skill training, speech therapy, behavior therapy, drug used to control seizure and muscle spasm. Special braces or orthotics can compensate for muscle imbalance. Splinting to improve muscle function. Specialized nursing care, counseling for emotional and psychological need, neuro rehabilitation. Occupational therapy, meaningful and purposeful activities, self-care, employment activities and skills, leisure activities, knitting, playing games, domestic activities like cooking, cleaning and laundry. Speech therapy, improve communication skill, improve receptive and expressive language skill, improve speech articulation, improve vocabulary, enhance quality of life by maximizing of self-locomotion, provide adaptive solution to mobility problems. Physiotherapy. Physiotherapy is mental health care and psychiatry is recognized specially within physiotherapy. It occurs a rich variety of patients' physical and mental health problems based on evidence-based literature. And a 50-year activity, exercise is an individual of group and therapeutic settings. Additionally, it connects to health care and physiotherapy research problem, observational evaluation tools as well as a range of interventions that are related to the history. Physiotherapy in mental health are address human movement, function, physical, mental and needs of humans. Physiotherapy in mental health care, psychiatry can offer added beneficial value to treatment of people with mental health. I am seeing exercise mostly used on physiotherapy. Aerobic activities like jogging, swimming, cycling, walking, brisk walking, dancing have been found to reduce anxiety and depression. Just 30 minutes of moderate exercise 5 times a week is enough. PT management. Exercise can reduce stress, anxiety and depression. Mainly exercise tends to improve the quality of sleep. Exercise which tends to improve self-esteem and perceived self-worth. Exercise tends to increase social interaction. Exercise improve brain functionally. Exercise generally improve mood. Exercise reduce fatigue. Physical activity can improve mental alertness. Exercise in the all-inclusive health activity that all family members can participate in. But that is still just specific to exercise. Physical therapists are to determine the baseline health and fitness level for the new patient as well as establish the patient goals in the area. They are to determine what exercise are appropriate for an individual based on the specific testing on their act as wellness consultant. Physical therapist can and should with patient current fitness professionals. They are to teach about certain medications that impact the body's inherent response to exercise. Thank you.
So, this was all about mental retardation. I hope this presentation on mental retardation will help you in your studies and future. Thank you.
Thank you.